Kristen and welcome back to my channel. Today is the first video in my new series called A to Z Ghibli Food. For the letter A, I'm going to be making Anpan. Now, if you've been subscribed to me or you subscribed to me before the month of June, you know that I posted an Anpan video already. But to be honest, I wasn't really happy with that video. I shot most of the footage on my phone and I was getting really lazy at that point for making videos, so I decided that I would gather up new resources and I would put together some content to make new videos for you. So today I'm going to remake the recipe and film it a little bit better, hopefully, for the A in the A to Z of Ghibli Food.
You can find this steamed bun in the movie Spirited Away or Sen to Chihiro no Kamikakushi in Japanese. After a hard day's work, Chihiro and Lin catch their breath and chow down on these steamed buns. You can use a savory filling like meat or a sweet one like Anko in this video. For this recipe, you'll need sugar, yeast, milk, baking powder, salt, flour, and extra flour for kneading, and oil. The details and measurements will be listed in the description box below. First, add 1/3 of the sugar to the warm milk, then add the yeast and mix. Stir and let sit for 5 minutes or until it becomes foamy. In a large bowl, add the flour, baking powder, salt, and remaining sugar and mix well. When the yeast becomes foamy, add it to the flour mixture with the oil and mix until combined. It's going to look pretty sticky, but that's where the extra flour comes in. Liberally flour out your work surface and fold out the dough. Using about 1 tablespoon at a time, add flour until the dough doesn't stick to the heel of your hand when you're kneading it. You don't want the dough to be too tough, so add flour in small increments. So you're going to knead this for about 10 to 15 minutes and then do the window pane test. If the dough rips when you try to see the light through it, knead it for another 3 to 5 minutes. Try not to add any more flour at this point. This is what I mean when I say window pane test. You can kind of see the light through the dough and it doesn't rip as it stretches out. Next, form the dough into a ball, place it in a lightly oiled bowl, cover and let sit in a warm spot for an hour and a half or until the dough doubles in size. To make the Anko, I'm using 1 can of adzuki beans that I drained. In a heavy bottom pot, add the beans and just enough water to cover them. Bring it to a boil and then rinse. Repeat this process 2 or 3 times or until the beans smell less beany. Then add enough water to cover the beans and cook until they are mashable. This took about 20 minutes for me since they were pretty soft to begin with. Drain well, then add the sugar and stir until most of the water dissolves. I forgot to mention that I added a pinch of salt to this mixture after the sugar. I also separated about 1/3 of the beans into a separate bowl and then added them when I was cooking the water out. That's optional, but I think it adds a nice texture. When most of the water has dissolved, place the cooked beans in a small bowl to let cool and set. After the dough has doubled in volume, gently deflate it and turn it out on a lightly floured surface. Next, shape the dough into a rectangle and roll it into a log. You can measure out the dough with a kitchen scale and split it evenly, or you can just guess. Pinch the bottom together and roll it into a ball. I initially made 5 dough balls, but realized that I was supposed to make large ones like the ones in the movies, so I just took a couple and smushed them together. When you have your dough balls formed, cover them again and let them rest for 15 to 20 minutes. Next, flatten out the dough balls and roll them out like you're making dumpling skins, which is thinner on the edges and thicker in the middle. Fill the center with Anko. Press the seam together in whatever way makes the most even closure. Roll it into a ball and place it seam side down on a piece of wax paper. After this, you're going to want to start boiling the water for your steamer. Then you're going to cover the dough and let it rest for 10 minutes. Place the buns inside the steamer, keeping in mind that they'll expand a bit while cooking, and after 10 minutes, they should look like this.
So I just finished cooking them. I just steamed these Anpan. They're super, super hot, but they seem like they're very light and very fluffy. I'm gonna open one up now just to see what it looks like inside, and we're gonna give it a taste. So there's like a butthole on the bottom. It's steaming. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there it is. So it looks like the Anko was pretty evenly distributed inside, which is nice. And yeah, gonna give it a taste. Buy a new microphone. Is this uncomfortable for you? The dough is super soft. I'm glad that I let it rest for the amount of time that I did. It seems like a really long time. I started this at 1 o'clock, and I think it's 4:30 in the afternoon now, and I started this at 1. And it's because I had to proof the dough for about an hour and a half, and then again for 20, and then again for 10. So it takes a long time. It is a bit of a labor of love, but if you have nothing else to do, if it's a rainy day out or something, and you just feel like having sort of like a sweet, comforting food, this is a great choice. I'm gonna keep eating this. This is so good. And that's it. That's Anpan for the A in my A to Z Ghibli Food series. I hope that you liked this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. It has gotten increasingly more humid since I started this video.